your loved one's in a nursing home and he or she has a pressure ulcer or are at risk for developing pressure ulcers. There are simple interventions that are or should be initiated by the nursing home for the promotion of healing of ulcers and for the prevention of pressure ulcers. I'm James Kapralos, an attorney at Parker Waichman. There are many interventions to prevent or promote the healing of pressure ulcers. I'm just going to talk about a few of the simple interventions that should be in place for anyone who has a pressure ulcer or is at risk for developing a pressure ulcer unless their medical condition determines that these simple interventions should not be in place. The first one is assessments. Everybody should be assessed for the risk of developing pressure ulcers. There are certain risk factors for developing a pressure ulcer. Some of them are immobility, dietary needs, incontinence. There are many. Those are just a few. There are simple interventions to prevent these ulcers or promote the healing of them. After a resident is assessed, they are determined to either be a high, low, or moderate risk for developing pressure ulcers. Depending on the level of risk, certain interventions will be put in place. Some simple interventions are turning and positioning. Turning and positioning every 2 hours. This is a simple intervention. Many times the nursing homes don't do this simple intervention because they are understaffed and they just don't get around to doing it. It is very important to turn and position a resident if they have a pressure sore or if they are at risk for developing a pressure ulcer. The reason why you want to turn and position is that when you turn and position a resident, it promotes blood flow. When a resident is in the same position for too long a period of time, a pressure ulcer could develop. A pressure ulcer is usually found on pressure points, pressure spots on the body. So if somebody is lying down on their back, they could be more susceptible to pressure ulcers to the heels, the buttock area, the coccyx area, the sacral area, shoulders. If they're on their side, they are more susceptible to pressure ulcers on their foot, side of their foot, hip, and ear area. These are all pressure spots, and there are many more. What the nursing homes should attempt to do is try and keep the residents off the pressure spots for more than 2 hours. Every 2 hours, turn and position the resident. This will promote the blood flow and will also be a huge factor in healing ulcers and preventing ulcers from forming. Another thing nursing homes should do is every single shift, they should do a full body assessment to look for changes in skin condition. If changes in skin condition are found, no matter how small those changes in skin condition are, they should immediately report it either to the nurse, and whether or not the nurse or the CNA finds out about the nursing home for the first time, either way, the doctor should be notified. Simple intervention. Every shift, look for a change in skin condition. It is much easier to prevent an ulcer from forming than it is to curing an ulcer. That's why you want to find the ulcer at the very, very minimal stage, which would be redness, stage 1, and immediately treat it to prevent it from going to stage 2, 3, or 4. There are many other interventions. If you'd like to discuss this further with me, pick up the phone and call me. I will be happy to speak with you. My name is James Kapralos. I'm an attorney at Parker Waichman. Thank you.